What is up? GoodMicWork back at you with your Clash of Champions 2016 results and reaction video. The pay-per-view literally just ended when Chris Jericho is singing "We Are the Champions" as him and Kevin Owens are going up the ramp after Kevin Owens' victory tonight at the Clash. He did retain the title. I'm going to jump right into this pay-per-view and give you my thoughts on it. I am about to enter a crazy couple of weeks here in my personal life as I am going to be moving again, so stay tuned to the end of this video and I will give you an idea of what you can expect commentary-wise out of me in the next couple of weeks, because the schedule is really going to be effed up now between now and No Mercy. But we'll start with the pay-per-view first. Why don't we start with the main event, and we'll kind of go backwards here since the main event just ended. It's fresh in my mind. The crowd was a little quiet for it, which sucks because I was really looking forward to an in-ring match one-on-one between Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. I think that's an awesome championship main event for a WWE pay-per-view. It's so nice to see these guys getting opportunities, so I wish the fans would be a little bit more into the matches. But they really didn't wake up until near the end of the match when they really got rolling, and then there was some "this is awesome" chants finally and all of that. But I think the whole ending just kind of went on way too long. Chris Jericho was all over this thing. We were all expecting Triple H maybe to make another appearance in this match, since he's the one that gave Kevin Owens the title to begin with. But it looks like they're going to keep him off TV for the foreseeable future, and Jericho was the one that came out there and got all involved in this. They even teased that Jericho might even fuck it up and cost Owens the belt, which, you know, inevitably there's going to have to be a split between these two, because Jericho is essentially his lackey. If he turns that scarf into a bow tie, he's fucking Virgil. So he's all over this match. The referee bump was ridiculous. The referee is like dead in a coma just for taking a shoulder tackle or whatever the hell it was. Lots of distractions by Jericho and a couple of near falls. You know, I think Seth had Kevin Owens beat twice. Once Jericho pulled Kevin Owens' foot on the rope, and the other time I think the referee was knocked out and was unable to count Owens down. Finally, Steph comes out there with a brand new referee, and amidst all the distraction, Kevin Owens is eventually able to hit Seth with a pop-up powerbomb and pin him for the 1-2-3 and retain the title. Not a big surprise there. I didn't expect Kevin Owens to drop the belt this soon. I would love to see Seth Rollins get another run with a world title. I have no doubt that he will one day in the future, but I really didn't expect him to win it here. Looks like WWE wanted to try their hand at Kevin Owens. Since they built a star in Finn Balor and he got injured, they wanted to keep on that same track, so they gave another guy an opportunity to run with the world title, and I saw no point in taking the belt off of him yet. Out of all these title matches, we only saw one belt change hands tonight, and that, of course, was the United States title. Rusev did drop the belt to Roman Reigns. One of the very few matches that I predicted correctly. My predictions were horrible for this pay-per-view, but you could just smell it. You had a feeling that Roman Reigns was going to wind up taking this title. I've been of the opinion that this is actually a good thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with Roman Reigns defeating Rusev and becoming U.S. champion. When you think about Rusev's 2 United States title reigns, who are the only 2 people really on the WWE roster who have gotten the better of Rusev in a feud? It's John Cena and Roman Reigns. That's not too shabby of a position on the card, to where if you're losing title belts, you're losing to the absolute toppest of top stars possible. It's not like Rusev dropped it to Dolph Ziggler or Zack Ryder or something like that. I mean, he's losing these belts and these feuds to major stars. So Rusev really is only semi-main event. I don't know if he'll ever get main event. Maybe he will. Not everybody can be in the main event, so I think Rusev being semi-main event and being a strong player on the roster for a couple of years now, for him to lose the belt to people like Cena and Roman Reigns, I absolutely refuse to subscribe to the theory that that is a burial. It absolutely is not. I'm sure if you ask Rusev, he has absolutely no problem whatsoever with his position on the card. And I think it's nice that the WWE got away from some of that sillier shit he was doing before with the love triangles with Ziggler and Lana and Summer Rae and all that shit. It's nice to see him back being taken seriously again. And you knew he was going to have to drop that belt at some point, and I don't see really a big problem than dropping it to a former 3-time WWE champion. No shame in that at all. And on top of that, it keeps Roman Reigns away from the world title, which is also nice to see. So I would think these guys might continue. I don't know. I mean, Reigns beat him pretty much straight up. Lana even got involved in this thing, and the referee sent her away, banned her from ringside, and kept the match going, refusing to disqualify Rusev. And Roman Reigns, at the end, finally did win with the spear and win the United States belt. So not a huge surprise there. Nothing that I'm going to be too upset about. I'm not really a huge Roman Reigns fan either. But for him to win the U.S. belt is not something that I'm going to cancel my WWE network over. When you think about it, wrestling has really been booked the same way it always has, with a few tweaks here or there. What it all boils down to is who you like and don't like the most. And at the end of the day, we're all marks. And when people try to justify to me that the decision to put the belt on Roman Reigns was a huge mistake and really stupid of the WWE and really confusing booking. Roman Reigns defeating Rusev is only confusing booking to you because you don't like Roman Reigns. Nobody complained when Stone Cold Steve Austin was beating everybody left and right and coming out there and stunning them because Austin was well liked. But he never lost either, and if he was a hated wrestler like Roman Reigns, I'm sure people would accuse him of burying people as well. It's really not, it doesn't have anything to do with the booking and how WWE does it. I think the fans justify their hate for a certain individual by picking apart the booking and overanalyzing and over-criticizing everything the WWE does when someone that you particularly don't care for wins a match or a belt. And I think it just all, at the end of the day, comes down to logic. So for me, being on the same side of the fence as most people that don't really like Roman Reigns as a top star and was rejecting the force-fed push that WWE was giving to all of us, this is a nice step down. It's a nice demotion for him, just taking one notch lower on the card. To me, this is much easier to swallow than what WWE gave us at WrestleMania 32 when Roman Reigns had the grand moment in the main event of their biggest show with their biggest crowd. Not really the guy we were hoping for. So to see where Roman Reigns is now compared to WrestleMania, I gotta be honest, I am fine with it. I think basically every other match I got wrong. Charlotte wound up retaining her women's title. I think I did pick Sasha Banks. I had a feeling Charlotte was going to retain, but I mentioned in my predictions that I was just going to go out on a limb and pick Sasha for the hell of it and see if I was right. But I was wrong, and I'm fine with it. I was trying to rack up in my brain previous Clash of Champions shows back in the day with the NWA and WCW, and I don't remember Ric Flair ever dropping a world title at the Clash. He had plenty of title matches. I have to go back and read the results to find out if I'm right, but I don't think he ever dropped a belt at the Clash, so I don't think his daughter should have to either. So Charlotte retained for a little while longer. Dana Brooke had a lot to do with this match. She was all over the place helping Charlotte out. Charlotte ended up pinning Bayley after a kick to the face after her and Sasha, I believe, collided, and Sasha went outside of the ring, and Charlotte retained. So it doesn't look like any of this stuff is over. I'm sure Bayley and Sasha are probably going to have a couple of one-on-one matches. They might even tease some dissension there in the friendship. I don't know. But I'm never really going to complain when Charlotte retains the belt. I like her. She's my favorite female in the WWE. I'm in the minority on that. A lot of people prefer Bayley or Sasha. I'm a Charlotte guy. I love her athleticism, and that moonsault tonight, how about that? How picture perfect was that? It reminds me of how Kurt Angle, where, his body was in perfect alignment. And I'll never forget the one. I saw it live. I think it was in Richmond. It was one of the arenas in Virginia. And I went up and saw that Raw, where I think it was a cage match with him and Benoit, and he did the big moonsault off the cage. That's what Charlotte's moonsaults remind me of. I thought the same thing at WrestleMania when she did the top rope one. So if the girls ever have a cage match, I guarantee you Charlotte will backflip off of that fucking thing. So she wins. I'm cool with it. We'll see where they go in the future. To me, I see no point in playing hot potato with that belt. If they want to keep it on someone for a long period of time, I'm never going to complain. The New Day, oh my God, they retained tonight as well. Very surprising. I picked Gallows and Anderson. I thought this was it for the New Day. They were billing this as the 399th day of New Day's title reign. We'll have to check and see if that number is accurate. I think it is. They won it last year at SummerSlam, right? So that's probably about right. And they're coming up on Demolition's record, which I think is 400 and something days. But they didn't give the belts to Gallows and Anderson. I couldn't believe it. I thought for sure they would, especially the way Gallows and Anderson came out. Did you see the way the match started? I loved that attitude. It looked like they almost heard the fans and saying, okay, enough with the silly skits of these two guys. We want to see the club kick some ass. That's what they were brought in to do, so have them fucking do that. And they came out in this match super aggressive and attacked Big E on the outside of the ring, knocked out Xavier Woods, and went right to work on Kofi Kingston on the inside of the ring. They were very Brock Lesnar-ish. They did take some punishment, and New Day had plenty of offense, but they were always able to counter that. They were looking clearly like the stronger team, and it was a 2-on-3 ordeal, and Gallows and Anderson were still looking like ass-kicking machines. And at the end of the day, New Day wound up cheating. Xavier Woods hit, I think, Carl Anderson with the trombone, and he was pinned. So New Day retains and lives to fight another day. A lot of people were upset about that finish. I kind of was as well. Under one condition. I have a feeling that maybe on Raw tomorrow night we might see a tag title change. Maybe they wanted the New Day to hold the titles for 400 days, and if they lost it tomorrow, that would be 400 even days that they held the belts, and I think that would be cool, and I think it would also make up for the fact that they swerved us and did not give Gallows and Anderson the belts and had New Day retain, because you know the feud's not over. New Day fucking cheated. So obviously they're going to have to come out on Raw pissed off, demanding a rematch. We'll probably get one, hopefully not at the next pay-per-view. I don't even want to wait till Hell in the Cell. I would like to see them do the title change on Raw. Raw could use it. Raw needs some ratings boosts, and title changes tend to help that sometimes. So if you finally have New Day's long title reign end tomorrow night on Raw, one night after Gallows and Anderson got screwed over, I'm willing to live with the decision to have New Day retain at the Clash, provided they drop the belts relatively quickly here. So that's what I'm hoping we see on Monday Night Raw, and I guess we'll have to wait and see if they do that. If they don't, and New Day continues on for another 30 days, or if they break Demolition's record, you know, I don't know at that point, if they drop the belts to Gallows and Anderson, if it's going to feel as good as it would have if it happened tonight at the Clash or tomorrow on Raw. So I reserve more comments on this for later, after we see where it goes. As expected, TJ Perkins did retain by defeating Brian Kendrick in a very good match, of course. Kendrick wound up tapping out. Kendrick kind of went heel at the end. They did the handshake and the show of respect, and then he wound up headbutting TJ Perkins at the end. The crowd was relatively into this match. I've been very nervous for the Cruiserweight division because I just want it to be treated and handled properly. It was already confusing as hell on Monday night when they debuted the division, but they didn't even have the champion appear at all. They did the Fatal 4-Way for the number one contendership, but they should have had an interview, you know, or TJ Perkins should have been at ringside on commentary or confronted the winner after the match or something like that. The only thing he did was have a Skype interview on the fucking pre-show. It was absurd. So I really didn't see TJ Perkins dropping the belt before he even debuted on Raw in the division that he's the champion of. It made no sense at all, so an extremely predictable outcome here, but the match was still fun to watch. The guys did a good job, and I'll never complain about watching a Cruiserweight match in the WWE, especially after what we saw at the Cruiserweight Classic. I'm hoping the Cruiserweight experiment is a success and it lasts, and I just hope they, like I said, they handle it properly. What else am I missing here? Chris Jericho defeated Sami Zayn, another match that I predicted incorrectly. I was surprised at that Jericho won. I thought Sami Zayn could benefit from the victory better, but Jericho is so damn funny to me right now. I don't care who he beats or who he buries or what the hell they do with him. I'm fine with it because I am entertained anytime I lay eyes on his beautiful face. Chris Jericho, I love you. We also had Nia Jax defeating Alicia Fox on the pre-show, of course, not a big surprise there. And Cesaro and Sheamus had one hell of a match number 7 in their best of 7 series, and a couple of really scary moments. Cesaro, I cannot believe he's alive. That was one of the worst. That was probably worse than the one Sasha Banks took, that out of the ring dive where she landed on her face, much like Cesaro did tonight, and he is lucky to not only be alive, but not be paralyzed or anything like that. How this guy is even walking around, I have no idea. And I think the WWE might want to think about banning the suicide dives. A lot of people were saying that on Twitter, ban the move. Usually fans get pissed when WWE bans a move, but this is one that's scaring everybody, even the most cynical people, and they don't want to see these guys get hurt either. And it's scary. My heart literally skipped a beat after I saw that bump that Cesaro took, and I was worried that he was going to be moving. I thought they were going to have to stop the whole match, and they didn't. They kept fighting. Cesaro went on like nothing at all had happened to him. Very hard-hitting and brutal match as well. I mean, these two guys took some crazy shots, and they did a finish where nobody won. I think Cesaro wound up clotheslining Sheamus over the barricade. They land in the crowd, and then the doctors kind of rush in, check on both guys. Cesaro was saying, I can't feel my arm, but I can fight with one arm, and they just won't let them. And they call the match. They say these guys are unable to compete. So I guess we're going to get a match number 8 or something like that between the two. Also, there's been a lot of speculation as to what they're going to do after, because Mick Foley or Stephanie, or however they started this, basically said these two guys are going to get a championship match of some kind, whoever wins this thing. But they didn't really specify what championship, and now a lot of fans are starting to speculate that they are going to be put together as a tag team. I think there were a lot of missed opportunities with Swagger and Cesaro a while back, so if these two guys can, you know, develop some chemistry and get over in some way, I think it could be good for both characters, because neither Sheamus or Cesaro have really been doing a whole lot. Luckily, this best of 7 has been keeping them busy. But no winner was declared here. And now, provided that Cesaro is not injured, and early word right now from what I was reading from all of you is that he is not. It was reported that he does appear to be okay, but I can't believe this guy doesn't have a concussion or a strained neck or something. For him to come out of that completely scot-free is unbelievable. I hope he's okay. Let's all keep Cesaro in our thoughts and hope that everything is just fine with him. So provided that he is healthy and he's going to be all right, I would assume something's going to happen between these two guys tomorrow night on Raw, And whether or not they become a tag team in the future, I guess, is just going to be a wait-and-see type of thing. So all in all, I thought the pay-per-view was okay. I really wasn't that disappointed with it. Yeah, some of the outcomes and the winners of the matches baffled me a little bit. I thought for sure, like I said, Gallows and Anderson would win the tag belts. I didn't see Chris Jericho beating Sami Zayn. I didn't see Cesaro and Sheamus going to a draw. But I think they made up for it with some decent matches, and I'd probably have to give this pay-per-view, I don't know, C+, somewhere in there. So leave me all your thoughts on the pay-per-view and Clash of Champions, what you think of the outcomes of the matches and where you think they're going to go in the future leading into Hell in the Cell. I will probably be up here again at near the end of the week, Wednesday or Thursday, to do a review on both Raw and SmackDown. And then after that, I will be moving. I'm actually moving on October 5th, which is Wednesday of the next week. So I'm going to be working every day up until then, and then I'm going to take the 5th and 6th off to complete the move. And the problem is, if I was going to do a commentary that week, those would be one of the 2 days I would do it after Raw and SmackDown, do it on a Wednesday or Thursday, but I'm not going to be able to because I'm going to be in the middle of moving. So after my Raw and SmackDown review this week, that'll be coming up, like I said, Wednesday or Thursday, you probably won't hear from me again until No Mercy after the pay-per-view. I'll be up here live tweeting, and I'll come up and do a reaction after the pay-per-view is over, but I doubt I'll even get a predictions video up. That could change. If I can find time to do it, I will definitely do it. But you'll get one more commentary out of me after this one, and then after that, my next planned commentary will be October 9th after the No Mercy pay-per-view. And hopefully I can give you one in between then, but I highly doubt it. So that's what you can expect from me in the next couple of weeks on this channel. And then after that, once I'm moved in and settled, it'll be balls to the wall, and you guys are going to be getting some great content here to close out the rest of the year here in 2016. So I will catch you guys in just a couple of days with a Raw and SmackDown joint review. Keep a lookout for that extremely late on Wednesday night or on Thursday sometime. Let me know if there's anything else you would like me to touch on in that commentary later on this week. If there's some other wrestling news going on, I've never even really discussed the possibility of WWE purchasing TNA or anything like that. So if you want to hear me talk about any of that stuff, leave it in the comments below. I'll take a look at them and add some more stuff to the commentary later this week. I wish you all a very great week, and I will talk to you in just a couple of days. Until next time, peace.